Hi, this is Mike Kelly, and my concept theory is the logic model. The logic model is an illustration of the relationship between interventions and intended outcomes. The logic model is a systematic and visual interpretation of the relationship between resources to operate an organization or study, interventions or activities planned, and the changes or results one hopes to acquire. The logic model is at times referred to as a program theory because it describes how a program will work and to what point. The model is a basic picture of how one believes the system will work, using words and pictures to express a sequence of interventions to transpire change. The model describes how interventions are linked to expectations or outcomes. Typical logic models consist of inputs, activities, outputs, and outcomes. It has been utilized to evaluate the effectiveness of healthcare for years and has a clear application to clinical research and care. The logic models supplement conceptual models in the planning phase by identifying key intervention components that must be present, empirically and theoretically sound. The logic model assists the researcher to foresee challenges implementing the intervention and to begin an analysis by reviewing how intervention components are related. Once the study is finalized, the model assists in identifying what worked and what did not work for the participants. The logic model does not represent an actual flow of events and outcomes. Rather, it represents a program's point in time or whether it's progress that is refined by stakeholders throughout development. Planning your work includes resources, activities, outputs, outcomes, and impacts. Resources include stakeholders, financial and organizational resources or inputs available to plan, implement, and evaluate. Program activities include what the program does with the resources by utilizing tools such as products, services, and infrastructure, events or processes during implementation for the intended change or outcome. Outputs include the exact products of the activities that include the level or target, size and or scope of the services and products delivered or produced, of the services for intended outcome. Outcomes include short and long-term goals in program participants, such as behavior, skills, knowledge, and level of function. Progression of short and long-term organizational goals may occur over 7 to 10 years. Impact includes intended or unintended outcomes, such as organization, community, and or system-level changes within the organization as a result of the activities or interventions. So why use the logic model? The model provides stakeholders with a description or map of related events concerning the need for planned interventions with projected outcomes. The visualization allows the comprehension of how resources, being human or financial, achieve goals and lead to outcomes. The model allows stakeholders a visual of the idea while applying theories to a picture with systematic planning to better describe programs. Further, the model is flexible, identifying strengths and weaknesses. In addition, the model is adjustable as change occurs, as ongoing assessment and corrections are made. The evaluation rests upon clear stakeholder assumptions about how expectations of the program will resolve the problem by determining opportunistic outcomes. Assumptions are discussed in the next slide. The model functions to organize, manage, and evaluate the outcome. Reading the model and assumptions. Logic models vary in size and shape dependent upon the program. Starting from left to right, the model describes work in progress over time, beginning with evidence-based practice and continues through a connected chain of reasoning. The model's assumption includes the necessity of accomplishing planned activities, delivering the product necessary and intended, stakeholders benefiting in some specific way, specific organizational change, health communities forming partnerships to resolve health problems, and the need for change. So refer back to the diagram and follow these assumptions for better understanding. So different model approaches. There are 3. The theories approach emphasizes the theory of change or the reasons at the beginning of the change in a program or organization. The approach allows a large picture and conceptualization of the organization's change and why. For example, the theories approach is often used for grant proposals. Next is the outcomes approach. It focuses on the aspects of planning, causal effects, and connecting resources to desired results. by subdividing short and long-term goals. This approach is useful for evaluating and altering strategies for change. Next is the activities approach. This focuses on the intervention process by providing a visual display of links or specifics of the implementation process. The focus is mainly on the detailed steps or planned changes one must take to create change. Describing the results. To measure the model, which are resources, activities, outputs, outcomes, and impact, to recap, uses the acronym SMART, which stands for Specific, Measurable, Action-Oriented, Realistic, and Timed. When planning out an organization's intervention, researchers or clinicians need to allow room for variable variations, such as risk factors, values, and environmental interactions. The model allows a prediction of these variations, allowing preparation for differences throughout the study. To discuss limitations, limitations surface when there is a lack of community participation, scientific evidence, weak stakeholder partnership, and stakeholder input is not included, and assumptions are not met. So this is an example of how the logic model is used and developed for a refugee camp in Beirut with poor environmental and social conditions, and poor employment opportunities, bad economic resources, and poor access to health care. The plan involved engaging all stakeholders for health care promotion. The model first described the community needs, desired results, strategies, and the assumptions that were met. The stakeholders included youth, parents, and teachers. The outcome improved communication skills, problem-solving skills, and attachment to education. Further, the outcome improved relationship between peers, parents, and teachers. Based on this outcome, the Outer Room intervention sessions for youth was developed and applied to this very day. And the article that was listed in the discussion follows the logic model well as well. This is my presentation. Thank you very much.